I've spoken about Masterworks a fair bit in the past as a long-time sponsor of this channel, and well, today I'm here to explain to you everything about the site, exactly how it works, and why I keep choosing to continue to work with them as a sponsor of this channel. Now, there's been so much reporting on wealth generation through art that the financial community basically took notice and jumped on the bandwagon. And we've essentially seen a generation realize that it's not really about art, it's about money. Now, Masterworks, the company, is at the forefront of this financial movement, and that's why we're here to talk about them here today. Now, Masterworks was originally featured in Bloomberg in 2020 for being a new leader in the democratization movement. And at the time, they managed roughly $36 million in assets under management, and they had about 80,000 users on the platform. Today, though, Masterworks manages over $500 million and has over 450,000 users, and they've been written about in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Mad Money, and a bunch of other places as well. Simply put, Masterworks is growing at a pretty rapid pace. Now, I've spoken about Masterworks before in past videos, but usually only for a minute or two in short sponsored segments. So I thought I'd do a bigger video on art as an investment as a whole and just a general breakdown of the platform too. Now, of course, I'm not the first person to sit here advocating for art as an investment, and I do know that I won't be the last either. But you are still probably asking a few questions. Why art? Why is an entire platform dedicated to purely art investing? Why is it actually gaining so much popularity? And the most important question, can you actually make money from investing in art? And of course, I will be answering all of those questions and more right now. Now, I'll start by just saying this. Art is no longer just paint on a canvas. It's no longer just something pretty to look at. It's been transformed into a financial tool for wealth preservation and wealth accumulation. And this isn't a new thing. It's happened over previous centuries. The 0.1% of the 0.1% have used art as a financial tool to preserve and grow their fortunes for those centuries. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Oprah Winfrey have all built up collections valued in the hundreds of millions. Oprah actually flipped a painting and walked away with a $68 million profit, which is of course not too bad if you ask me. And before them, the Rockefellers amassed the world's most valuable art collection ever sold, going for a ridiculous $835 million. Now, while that is incredible, the value of art is still growing. Deloitte estimates that the wealth held in art will increase from about $1.7 trillion where we are today to about $2.7 trillion by 2026, which makes this asset class actually larger than the crypto industry at this moment. Now, as an investment, it's also been pretty consistent. Contemporary art has outperformed the S&P 500 by more than double from 1995 to 2021, and with equities crashing across the board over the first half of 2022, I personally suspect that that record has only been improving. Now, on average, contemporary art has appreciated by about 14% annually, and this alone makes art a potentially great addition to any investor's portfolio, but the benefits really don't end just with growth. Art resonates with investors, myself included, because it's an asset that doesn't correlate to stocks, bonds, or other financial instruments. It's what we call risk off. Research from Citibank shows that art has a near zero correlation to equities, meaning that if the markets tank, the art market can actually soar, and that's why Citi said that art's most attractive quality was its diversification potential. In a recent article from the New York Times, they literally called the high-end art market bulletproof. And it's not just about holding value. In particular, in an inflationary environment, when inflation is larger than 3%, contemporary art has appreciated by 23% annually. Now, that's actually far better than you see with something like stocks, real estate, or even gold, traditional inflation hedges. It's not just inflationary periods that show art's resilience, though. On literally the same day as Lehman Brothers collapsed in 2008, back on the previous financial crisis, the art market went on a massive bull run, and this is coming straight from the Financial Times. Now it looks like history is repeating itself again, because when stocks and crypto started to plunge, the art market actually hit record highs. A Warhol that was bought for just $5,000 about 60 years ago was recently resold for $195 million. Now, when you consider all of this, it does make perfect sense why over 80% of wealth managers believe that art is an investment. So how does Masterworks actually allow you to invest in that asset class? Well, I'm about to show you all how the website works and how the process actually functions. Now, before Masterworks even begin securitizing paintings, they did the smart thing. They went and did their homework. Their team of analysts built out the largest database in the world for tracking artists' appreciation rates, literally combing through thousands of physical auction catalogs going back decades and digitizing that data for the first time in history. Their in-house team now analyzes and updates millions of data points from this set to track the appreciation rates of artists and their work. They can identify which paintings and which artists are accelerating in value the fastest, which is how they determine what art is considered investment grade. It really is an incredibly complex system, but to massively oversimplify it, they look at the data and they find some patterns. Now, let's say they figure out that red Picasso paintings appreciate faster the ones that are blue or yellow, then they'll of course go through the process and buy those red Picassos. From October of 2021, they've been offered over $10 billion worth of art, but have purchased less than 3% of the artworks they're shown because they are incredibly selective for the quality, the provenance, and the price of their pieces. And just like institutions that often get special deals not available to the public, Masterwork buys most works at a discount to fair market value, and in the case of private sales, they actually cut out hefty fees that you get from brokers and middlemen. In other words, they're buying the highest quality works for excellent rates, and to be clear, Masterworks doesn't actually need your money to buy these paintings, they buy them with their own balance sheet capital. Now, when Masterworks purchases a painting, it securitizes it through the Securities and Exchange Commission and then offers shares in the work to investors. So users are literally investing in pieces of the painting. Now, I've seen a lot of bad takes regarding this process because some people are trying to liken it to NFTs, but the simple truth is that that couldn't be further from the truth. The reason NFTs get such a bad rap these days is because you're buying a JPEG and you don't have any legal ownership to that asset. With Masterworks though, your ownership of that part of the painting is recognized by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the US government. At the end of the day, this is all that really matters when it comes to owning a piece of art, that the government which rules over you with an iron fist recognizes your ownership, which the US government and actually almost every Western government doesn't with NFTs, but they do with Masterworks, and that's the massive difference between these two systems. Now, if an investor is looking for greater upside, they would probably be advised to invest in a living artist, seeing as how works often increase in value after an artist's death due to the increased scarcity of their works. A smaller value work from someone like Brown would also fall into the category of high upside, and the growing representation of an artist like Brown would be equivalent to aggressive growth in the finance world, something like a tech company. Now, you can actually make these equivalencies between art and finance in a lot of different ways. A long-established high-value artist like Rothko would be a large-cap blue-chip stock, and so on. Using these sort of ideas, you can diversify your diversification even further to better suit your investing goals. Also, the fact that these are filed with the SEC means that these are legitimate securities, so you don't have to worry about any scams or rug pulls. Now, that's basically how the system works and how they use data. So let's dive into the actual fun stuff, the investing itself. Here we have the offerings page, and they typically will have 3 to 5 paintings on offer at any time, but they can actually sell out pretty quickly. Recently, a $7 million Banksy offering sold out in less than 3 hours. That's how hungry some investors are for these kind of things. Right here, you can see the size of the offering, which typically ranges from about $1 to $15 million. And then to see the investment thesis and more information on the artist, you just click here on the deal sheet and it gives you all the information you need. Each painting has the offering circular and SEC filings available as well, of course, because you should always do your own research before investing. Here we have a graph for this particular artist showing where his sale prices have been in the past, where they've been going more recently, and where they're expected to go into the future as well. Then on the rest of the deal sheet, you have a load of information, a full profile of the artist, the type of art that they put out, and where Masterworks think they're likely to go into the future. So if you're sitting there and thinking, okay, this one looks pretty good, I want in, well, luckily the investing process is actually really quick. Now, as of recording this, Masterworks has launched over 120 paintings and their members have invested over $500 million with them. And as it turns out, Masterworks have been doing pretty damn well with their selections because the results have been pretty incredible. Since launching their first offering in 2019, they've sold 3 paintings and gotten over 30% net returns to their investors. That is actually pretty incredible when you think about it. 30% gains from paintings, and it just goes to show you that art really is a financial force. But you can actually realize gains in one of two ways on Masterworks. You can either wait until they sell the paintings, which is what they recommend, and that's how those members saw those 30+% returns. Or if you need liquidity, you can sell your shares to other members on the secondary market. You can see on here what the offerings are, what's trending, and some price history. And since it's peer-to-peer, there is some kind of bargaining element to it, which keeps things interesting, and that makes sure that these shares are selling for fair market value. Now, what I really like about Masterworks and why I've partnered with them for so long is their ability to think critically about the art market and how to bring that market to everyday people like you and me. They've brought the structure of the financial world to the elusive and opaque art market, and they're doing it in a way that no one else is. This platform has transformed art into an investable asset class, combining the growth of fintech and changing sentiment around alternative investments into an idea worthy of unicorn status. Being able to invest in smaller portions across works allows you to diversify your diversification. Now, I do have to admit that I am a huge fan of Masterworks, and I do firmly believe that all portfolios should have some kind of allocation to real assets, and art is no exception. So if you're looking for an investment with a low correlation to equities, inflation resistance, amazing returns, and untapped potential, I really can recommend investing in art with Masterworks. As always, there'll be a link down below in the description and in the comment section. If you're interested, if it sounds appealing, go and check it out. It's really easy and it's 100% free to sign up. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to bless the YouTube algorithm. It really does help. If you want to join our exclusive community, then check out our Patreon. You get access to our Discord server and extra content like access to my portfolio and buy and sell alerts for all my own investments. Also, make sure to check out the link in the description to Masterworks. It can help you protect your portfolio against market turmoil through fractional shares of art from world-famous artists. Art has historically proven to be uncorrelated to the markets, so it's a really valuable resource with the markets falling every week. There's also a link in the description to I Trust Capital, which helps you to invest in crypto through your tax-advantaged IRA, which could literally save you thousands. If you, like me, think crypto going down is a buying opportunity, then now is the perfect time to join I Trust Capital. Thank you all for watching. Stay stoic. Until next time.